Today, let's briefly revise your exam portions. You have 3 chapters in your first periodic test. They are History Lesson 1, Geography Lesson 1 and Politics Lesson 1. Today, let's briefly explain all the questions from these 3 lessons. Everybody listen and make sure that all you are written all these questions in your notebook. Listen here. First, let's revise Geography Lesson first. That is, what is the name of the lesson? First lesson, Geography, Resources. First question, why are resources distributed unequally over the earth? First question from this Geography lesson first, why are resources distributed unequally over the earth? That answer is, the distribution of natural resources depends upon number of physical factors like terrain, climate and altitude. The distribution of resources is unequal because these factors differ so much over there. The distribution of natural resources depends upon a number of physical factors like terrain, climate and altitude. The distribution of resources is unequal because these factors differ so much over there. Next question, what is resource conservation? What is resource conservation? Using resources carefully and giving them time to get renewed is called resource conservation. Using resources carefully and giving them time to get renewed is called resource conservation. Third question, why are human resources important? Why are human resources important? Answer is, people can make the best use of nature to create more resources. When they have knowledge, skill and the technology to do so, that's why human resources are important. Answer once more, why are human resources important? Answer, people can make the best use of nature to create more resources when they have knowledge, skill and technology to do so. That's why human resources are important. Next question, what is sustainable development? What is sustainable development? Answer, balancing the need to use resources and also conserve them for the future is called sustainable development. What is sustainable development? Balancing the need to use resources and also conserve them for the future is called sustainable development. Define human resource. Next question, define human resource development. Answer, improving the quality of people's skills so that they are able to create more resources is known as human resource development. What is the question? Define human resource development. Improving the quality of people's skills so that they are able to create more resources is known as human resource development. Then differentiate between the following. First question, potential and actual resources. What is potential and what is actual resources? Answer is, potential resources are those whose entire quantity may not be known and these are not being used at the present. These resources could be used in the future. Example, uranium found in Ladakh. Actual resources are those resources whose quantity is known. These resources are being used in the present. Example, coal in Ruhr region of Germany. Once more I will read the answer. Potential resources. What is the difference between potential and actual resources? Answer is, potential resources are those whose entire quantity may not be known and these are not being used at present. These resources could be used in the future. Example is uranium found in Ladakh. Actual resources are those resources whose quantity is known. These resources are being used in the present. Answer example is coal in Ruhr region of Germany. Then, what is the difference between ubiquitous and localized resources? Ubiquitous and localized resources. Answer, resources that are found everywhere are ubiquitous. Resources that are found everywhere are ubiquitous. Example, air we breathe. Resources found only in certain places are called localized resources. Resources found only in certain places are called localized resources. Example, copper and iron. Next question, what is the difference between renewable and non-renewable resources? Renewable resources are those which get renewed or replenished quickly. Example, solar energy and wind energy. Non-renewable resources are those which have a limited stock and the stocks are exhausted. It may be take thousands of years to renewed or replenished. Example, coal and petroleum. Once more I will read the answer. What is the difference between renewable and non-renewable resources? Renewable resources are those which get renewed or replenished quickly. Example, solar energy and wind energy. Non-renewable resources are those which have a limited stock. Once the stocks are exhausted, it may take thousands of years to be renewed or replenished. Example, coal and petroleum. That's all questions from first lesson geography. Then let's look what are the questions from what are the questions from history lesson first. What is the name of the lesson? History lesson first. How, when and where. The name of the lesson is history lesson first. How, when and where. First question. Name the events for which specific dates can be determined. Name the events for which specific dates can be determined. The answer is the year a king was crowned, the year he married, the year he fought a particular battle, etc. Specific dates can be determined. Answer once more. The year a king was crowned, the year he married, the year he fought a particular battle, etc. Specific dates can be determined. Second question. What was an important aspect of histories written by British historians in India? What was an important aspect of the histories written by British historians in India? The answer is the role of each governor general was important. The role of each governor general was important. Next question. Who was James Mill? Who was James Mill? Answer. He was a Scottish economist and political philosopher and is known for his book A History of British India. James Mill was a Scottish economist and political philosopher and is known for his book A History of British India. Next question. What was Mill's opinion about the Asian societies? What was Mill's opinion about the Asian societies? Answer. In Mill's opinion, all Asian societies were at a lower level of civilization than Europe. In Mill's opinion, all Asian societies were at a lower level of civilization than Europe. Next question. What evil practices, according to James Mill, dominated to the Indian social life before the British came to India? What evil practices, according to James Mill, dominated the Indian social life before the British came to India? Answer is, according to James Mill, the evil practices that dominated to the Indian life were religious intolerance, caste-based inequality, and superstitious practices. According to James Mill, the evil practices that dominated to the Indian social life were religious intolerance, caste-based inequality, and superstitious practices. Next question. Why do many historians refer to modern period as colonial? Why do many historians refer to modern period as colonial? Answer. It is because under British rule, people did not have equality and freedom. It is because under British rule, people did not have equality and freedom. The next question. Mention one important source used by historians in writing about the last 250 years of Indian history. Answer is the official records of the British administration. Answer is the official records of the British administration. Then, who was the first? Next question is, who was the first Governor General of India? Who was the first Governor General of India? Answer is Warren. First Governor General of India was Warren, Lord Warren Hastings. Lord Warren Hastings was the first Governor General of India. Next question. What was done under census? Census operations were held every 10 years. It records the number of people living in all the provinces of India and gathers information on caste, religion, and occupation. So what was done under census? Census operations were held every 10 years. It records the number of people living in all provinces of India and gathers information on caste, religion, and occupation. Next question. What do official records not tell? What do official records not tell? Answer is official records not tell what other people in the country felt and what lay behind their actions. Official records do not tell what other people in the country felt and what lay behind their actions. Next question. Why do we try and divide history into different periods? Why do we try and divide history into different periods? Answer is We do so in order to capture the characteristics of a type, its central features as they appear to us. We do so in order to capture the characteristics of a type, its central features as they appear to us. Next question, what is the problem with the periodization of Indian history that James Mill offers? Answer, James Mill divided Indian history into three periods. They are Hindu, Muslim and British. This periodization has its own problem. It is difficult to refer to any period of history as Hindu or Muslim because a variety of faiths existed simultaneously in these periods. It is also not justified to characterize an age through the religion of the rulers of the time. It suggests that the life and practices of others do not really matter. It's worth mentioning that even rulers in ancient India did not all share the same faith. Then that's all history questions from your first lesson. Then politics lesson first. What is the name of the lesson? The Indian Constitution. First question is what is a constitution? Politics lesson first question is what is a constitution? What is a constitution? Constitution is a written document that lays down basic rules and regulations for people and the government in a country to follow. Constitution is a written document lays down basic rules and regulations for people and the government to follow. Who is known as the father of Indian Constitution? Dr. B.R. Ambedkar is known as the father of Indian Constitution. Why does a democratic country need a constitution? Answer, in a democratic country, leaders are chosen by the people. These leaders are expected to exercise power responsibly on our behalf. But there is always a possibility that these leaders might misuse their power. Here comes the constitution. It provides safeguard against this. In a democratic country, leaders are chosen by people. These leaders are expected to exercise power responsibly on our behalf, but there is always the possibility that these leaders may misuse their power. Here comes the constitution. It provides safeguards against this. Next, describe the key features of Indian Constitution. What are the key features of Indian Constitution? There are 5 important key features: federalism, parliamentary form of government, separation of powers, fundamental rights and secularism. Let's look what is federalism. Federalism means more than one level of government. Our constitution has provided for a federal form of government because this means that we have 3 levels of government. Federalism is more than one level of government. In India we have 3 levels of government. Government at the center level, state level and Panchayati Raj. We have 3 levels of government, so India is a federal country. Our constitution, federalism, what is the explanation of federalism? Our constitution has provided for a federal form of government. This means that we have 3 levels of government. Government at the central level, state level and Panchayati Raj is the 3rd level of government. Then second one is key features. Second one, parliamentary form of government. The Constitution of India guarantees universal adult franchise for all citizens. This means that people of India have a direct role to electing their representative. They have a direct role. People of India have a direct role in electing their representatives. Then third one is key feature. Third one is separation of powers. There are 3 organs of the state. They are legislature, executive and judiciary. In order to prevent the misuse of power by any one branch of the state, the constitution says that each of these organs should exercise different powers. These are the third one, separation of powers. Then fourth one is fundamental rights. Fundamental rights, the Constitution of India guarantees certain basic rights to all its citizens. These are called fundamental rights. Our constitution provides all citizens of India certain basic rights. These are called fundamental rights. Fundamental rights protects against the absolute exercise of power by the state. State in the absolute power ഓരോ സിറ്റിസനെയും പ്രൊട്ടക്ട് ചെയ്യുന്ന ഫണ്ടമെന്റൽ റൈറ്റ്സ് ആണ്. Then fifth one is secularism. What is secularism? India is a secular country. A secular country is one in which the state does not officially promote any one religion as the state religion. A secular state is one in which the state does not officially promote any one religion as state religion. That's all that answer important key features of Indian Constitution. That is very important. Everybody study well. The last question is describe all the fundamental rights mentioned in the Indian Constitution. First one, the right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion, cultural and educational right, right to constitutional remedies. So what are these? First fundamental right is right to equality. All persons are equal before law. It means that all persons shall be equally protected by the laws of the country. Second one, right to freedom. Everyone has the right to freedom of speech and expression, the right to move freely and reside in any part of the country, and the right to practice any profession, occupation or business. Third one is right against exploitation. The Indian Constitution prohibits trafficking, forced labor and children working under 14 years of age. Next one, right to freedom of religion. Everyone has the right to enjoy religious freedom. It means that everyone has the right to practice any religion of their choice. Then cultural and educational right. Indian Constitution states that all minorities, religious or linguistic, can set up their own educational institutions in order to preserve and develop their own culture. Last one, fundamental rights, the right to constitutional remedies. A person has the right to go to the court if his fundamental rights are being violated. These are the fundamental rights including Indian Constitution. Once more I will say, right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion, cultural and educational right, and right to constitutional remedies. That's all questions from history, geography and politics. These are the important questions. Everybody is studying well and also read the textbook twice or thrice so that you may get a better understanding of the content. Everybody study well, write well. Okay, thank you.